Hello students, let's read our question. Which expression is equivalent to 10 divided by x minus 5? Okay, and I need to know which expression is equivalent, and then this expression is given. And I need to find which expression is equivalent, and the expression is given. I did circle, underline, box the question. Now I need to elaborate. For elaborate, guys, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remember how do I rewrite divisions into long divisions and into sentences. Hold on, because I'm gonna bring some notes. In my notes, I can see the 10, guys, that is on the numerator. If I use a math sentence, the 10 is gonna come first in the sentence. But if I use long division, I know the long division is gonna be inside the long division symbol. The other thing that I notice is the denominator, the complete denominator, comes at the end in the math sentence. And if we're using the long division symbol, the denominator comes outside the long division symbol. And then this way we have three identical ways to do it. So now we're gonna focus on the specific example that we got here. And I'm gonna bring down my expression. Hold on, guys. If I have this expression, I'm gonna follow this anchor chart. I'm gonna circle my numerator in orange and my denominator in green, just like the example that was given on the anchor chart. Now, this is where I'm gonna have a big question. My denominator is not just one whole number, it's an expression. And remember, guys, the x given in here represents a number. It represents a number that we don't know yet. So it can be any number. Now, we can understand better what's happening when we have one complete expression in the denominator. I'm gonna do some notes on the side so we can see what's happening. Okay, so the strategy that I'm gonna be using is assign a friendly number to x. And one friendly number can be the 10. And I'm gonna write the 10 here. And I'm gonna do the evaluation of this expression. So what we're gonna have to do first is figure the value of the whole denominator right here. If I have the numerator 10 and the denominator the 10 minus the 5, that's gonna be a 5. 10 divided by 5, that's gonna be equal to 2. What this means, guys, is that if x equals 10, if, and this is, remember, a value that we assign just to figure the value. If the x is a 10, the whole expression will be equals to 2. That's when we work it out. Now, let's see how we're gonna rewrite the given expression. We said already that the 10 on the numerator, we highlighted in orange, so that's gonna be pushed towards the beginning of the sentence. So that should be here. Following the example below. Now, this is the whole denominator, and the whole denominator is gonna be behind. But before, you see, in between the two, we have that the symbol of division in fraction. So we're gonna write that division symbol goes here. And now I'm gonna rewrite my denominator. The whole denominator will be here, and that is x minus 5. Now I'm gonna look at my choices, and choice A has the same order, the 10, the division, the x, and then the minus and the 5. So I'm gonna put a question mark here. Letter B, the 10, the division, 10 and division, the x, the minus, and the 5. What is the only difference? The only difference is that this one has the parentheses. So now I'm between A and B. I'm gonna put a question mark here. And now I'm gonna look at C. On C, they have x minus 5 at the beginning of the math sentence. But I know that the denominator in a math sentence always comes at the end. So this one cannot be our answer. And now I'm going to look at choice D. For choice D, at the beginning of the sentence, they have the 10 divided by the x. But I know that I need to have the 10. And then they have the 10 divided by the x minus the 10 divided by the 5. So it looks like they broke down this denominator in two parts. Okay, and that's not what we're going to have here. So now I'm going to be between A and B. And for A and B, guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to say, okay, so what happens? Now I need to follow order of operations. So I'm going to follow order of operations and work out A and B with the value that I assigned to the x that is equal to 10. And the one that is correct needs to give me this value of the 2 that we know is correct. So I'm going to make those notes down here. On the notes down here, I rewrote the choices A and B. I didn't rewrite them, I just copied them. Okay, so now I'm gonna do substitution. Remember what was the value of x that we assigned on the right side? We said that x equals 10, remember? Okay, great. So what it means is that anytime that I see an x, like here and here, I'm gonna plug in a 10, just to see how it's working. Okay, order of operations. We do parentheses first. On choice A, there's no parentheses. Okay, so we're done. Exponents, there's no exponent. Next, it will be multiplication and division, whichever comes first from left to right. And from left to right, we see the division first. So this is what we're going to work out first. And then I'm going to plug in the number that I said I'm going to work with. For x, we said we're going to use a 10. And we randomly selected that number. And then it's minus the 5. So then if I have 10 divided by a 10, that's going to be 1. I bring down the minus and the 5. If I have 1 and I take away 5, I'm going to have 4 negatives. Okay, that's the value that we're going to get. Now we're going to look at example B. Order of operations. Well, before I do order of operations, I'm going to do substitution of the values. 10 divided by parentheses. For the x, we have to use the same number on the two expressions so that we can see what is the value. If the x has that number, we cannot change the value of the x in the two different expressions because that's the whole point. Assigning a value to the x, and if x is the same number, then we can compare those two to see which one is right. Okay, so we're going to say the x is a 10, we gave that value, and now the expression says minus 5, and then I close the parentheses. Okay, now that I got all my numbers, I'm going to follow order of operations on the top. First step in order of operations is parentheses, so we have to focus on this operation here. 10 minus 5, that is what, guys? That is a 5. And then everything else, we bring it down. So this is a 10, bring down the division. Now we just have one operation. 10 divided by a 5, that gives me a 2. And now you see this and this. So it makes a difference if we group the value in the denominator. What we can learn from this example, guys, is your denominator here cannot be broken down because that what will happen here. They will just divide this 10 by this value of x. And then at the end, they're going to subtract the 5. But that's not something we can do because when we have a denominator, it means all of these represents just one number. It's just one number that in this case is being represented by a subtraction. But at the end, we're just going to get one numerical value for this expression here. So what we have to do all the time is that if we find an expression in this denominator, we have to put it in parentheses, saying that if we rewrite this as a math sentence, like in this case, the numerator goes at the beginning of the sentence, and then the denominator is one complete number. So our answer, it is letter B. Awesome, guys. Thank you.